Hey everyone, it's Froggy, and I'm back again with another episode of Dandelion, which is brought to you. This is Jisoo's Route, and it's part 5. I'm just gonna go ahead and jump in.
야, 나 근데 궁금한 게 있는데.
And it starts on January 4th. I had a break for the first time in a long time. Jisoo, who was watching me make tea, opened his mouth.
넌 언제부터 혼자 산 거야?
I lived alone since I entered college, so it's already been
4년 전부터. 와, 시간 진짜 빨리 갔네. 벌써 4년이구나.
4년?
근데 왜?
4년 동안 위험하게 혼자 살았단 말이지?
Why is he saying those things again? Jisoo looked at me with slight suspicion.
남자 몇 명 사귀었어? 혼자 살면서.
왜 갑자기 그런 걸 물어봐?
How many guys I went out with? It's a little embarrassing as it's too little. This is my privacy. I don't have to answer him.
알아서 뭐하게 쓸데없이.
남자가 있긴 있었구만.
Jisoo would definitely be jealous of my past. I could see his eyes burning with determination to find out.
그러는 너야말로 여자 많았던 거 아니야?
나?
Jisoo's necklace. Jiyoung commented last time that he might have gotten it from his ex-girlfriend.
그 목걸이 말이야. 왜 항상 메고 있어? 혹시 소중한 사람한테 받은 거야?
Jisoo suddenly became quiet. Uh-oh, this isn't a good sign. Was it really from a girl?
여자한테 받은 거야?
Jisoo nodded slightly.
정말?
So was it really from an ex-girlfriend, or?
이 목걸이는 동생한테 받은 거야.
동생?
Oh, Jisoo had a little sister. I felt myself relax. I would have been hurt if he had said that he gotten the necklace from somebody he had loved. Although I'm sure he loved his sister, but I get what you mean.
여동생이 있었구나.
I'm a bit envious. I was the only child and always wanted a little sister since I was a kid.
이름이 뭔데? 몇 살이야?
릴리, 12살.
이름 예쁘다. 12살이면 여기선 학교 다닐 나이인데 여동생은 뭐해?
거의 집에만 있어.
그럼 맨날 부모님하고 같이 있겠네?
I could see that Jisoo's face had become stiff. Did I just say something wrong? Maybe their parents have passed away and they've been living with their relatives. I regretted questioning him without thinking. I also didn't like to hear questions related to my parents.
미안. 대답하기 힘들면
없어. 돌아가시.
Jisoo said flatly. And then he turned his eyes away from me.
4년 전부터 동생하고 둘이 지냈어. 이상하네. 이젠 이런 이야기해도 아무렇지 않을 거라고 생각했는데 4년이나 지났는데 말이야. 아직도 좀 이상해.
I could hear the water boiling in the kettle. I turned off the stove and stood there for a while. I felt a weird stir in my heart. He was talking as if it was no big deal, but I felt that he was still grieving over it. I just knew that he was pretending to be okay. You hide your feelings inside, thinking that it'll hurt less when time passes, but when you later have to face it, you can't bear it. It's like me.
나 그 기분 알 것 같아.
I have to confront it. Although your hands might shake uncontrollably, and you feel that your old wound is getting pricked out again.
사실 우리 부모님은 이혼하셨거든. 부모님이 이혼하실 때 누구랑 같이 살고 싶냐고 물어보는데 왜 그러는지 이해가 안 됐어. 나는 다 같이 있고 싶은데 그래서 왜 따로 살아야 하냐고 물어봤어. 같이 살게 되면 엄마가 버티지 못할 거라고 그러더라고. 엄마가 괴로워하는 걸 보고 싶지 않아서 엄마랑 같이 살기로 했는데 근데 같이 살기로 결정한 순간 나는 부모님을 둘 다 잃은 기분이었어.
Mom changed drastically after the divorce. After my parents got divorced, the bright and happy family was nowhere to be found. Mom would make sure to prepare meals with food that would help me concentrate better when studying. She would call me as soon as cram school finishes at 2 a.m. 2 a.m., Jesus. Making sure that I come straight home to review what I had learned. And my confidence began to fade away.
아직도 이상해. 누가 물어보고 그러면 아무렇지 않게 대답하려고 하는데 꼭 생각나. 그래서 어쩔 땐 우리 가족은 아주 행복하다고 거짓말을 하기도 해. 그러고 나면 항상 마음이 아팠어. 주위가 계속 무너져 내려가고 있는 걸 바라볼 수밖에 없었던 어린 시절이 아직도 떠올라.
I couldn't do anything because I was so young. Because it was a matter between the adults, I had to helplessly watch my family fall apart. To become that gentle and obedient child that Mom wanted. I felt sudden warmth. Jisoo's arms were embracing me and trembling a bit. Why is Jisoo trembling?
너는 강하면서도 다정해.
응?
너 같은 사람을 만나서 다행이야.
Jisoo's words warmed my heart up. I never imagined that someone would say these words to me. I always had low self-esteem. I was busy blaming myself when things went wrong. But there is someone who says he's glad to have met me.
네가 나를 선택해서 다행이야.
For the first time, I was glad that I became independent from Mom. Because if I hadn't, I would not have changed. And I wouldn't have turned into the strong person as Jisoo said.
이렇게 만났으니까 놔주고 싶지 않아.
Jisoo's words deeply touched my heart. And I'm going to skip up ahead. And the next cutscene is on January 19th. Perhaps it's because the weather's gotten chillier, but there weren't many people at the park. Looking at the fallen leaves while sitting on the bench with Jisoo, I was surprised that it's already been a year since we first met.
여동생이 조용한 성격이구나.
Since a few days ago, Jisoo and I talked about my family. I usually avoid the subject of family, but it was okay to talk about it with Jisoo. With Jisoo, I felt like I could talk about anything. When people asked me about my family, I would always lie that everything was fine. I was afraid of others' reactions and remarks if I told them the truth. If I don't have a happy family, it seems as if someone had done something wrong to break the family apart. And I didn't want to give people that impression. Jisoo also told me about his family. He didn't go into details, but he usually told me about his sister. Though she's still young, she does a good job in doing housework and enjoys reading books.
조용하기보다는 낯가림이 조금 심해. 그리고 오빠 오빠 하면서 매일 쫓아다녀.
She sounds adorable.
귀여울 것 같아.
엄청.
Jisoo smiled softly. He must be thinking of his sister.
어릴 때는 잘 넘어져서 내가 항상 옆에 붙어 있어야 했어.
지금은 누구랑 살아?
Jisoo's living with me now, who's taking care of his sister. I asked without giving it a lot of thought, but Jisoo's smile suddenly disappeared. Not answering my question, Jisoo stood up from the bench.
갈까?
He smiled. I could feel a cold breeze blowing from where Jisoo was standing. Winter must be coming. I headed home with Jisoo before it gets any colder outside. And I'll be skipping again. And the last cutscene for today is on February 2nd.
여보세요? 엄마?
I could hear Mom's voice over the phone. It hasn't changed a bit. I could only answer yes, as always. Our phone call in half a year ended like that. The phone in my hand suddenly felt very heavy. Mom just said she was coming here to see me. I didn't have the chance to tell her anything about the guys that I'm living with. What would she say if she saw me now? Oh, I have to hide everything. The animals, I have to hide their stuff. I have to make sure that the house appears how Mom expects it to be. I frantically began gathering the animals' belongings all over the house. I have to hide everything. I have to make the place clean.
너 왜 그래?
When Jisoo saw me stuffing the washer with a bunch of clothes, he looked at me in surprise.
어떡해.
괜찮아? 왜 그래?
Jisoo came closer. I unconsciously backed away from him. Jisoo stopped, giving me a bewildered look.
엄마가 온대. 지금.
I must hide everything. Mom must not find out.
부탁이야. 애들을 데리고 나가줘. 오늘 저녁까지는 돌아오면 안 돼?
Jisoo seemed like he wanted to say something, but I ignored him and instead closed the door of the washing machine filled with clothes. I have to hide all the evidence. The kitchen, bathroom, living room, my room, and the entrance. I hid everything that belonged to the animals and cleaned the entire house from top to bottom. When I was done, I noticed that everyone had gone out. The house was completely silent. No one is here. I was all alone in the clean house. I could smell the air freshener all over the house. I feel as if I went back in time to when I was living alone. Back to my dull life. I seem to have gone back to the old me, when I only showed Mom the daughter that she wanted to see. I took a deep breath.
집 청소는 하고 사니?
It's Mom. High heels and a designer handbag. Nothing about her has changed. Mom looked around the house with a frown. Afraid of her suspecting something, my heart began to beat fast. It's been about 7 months since we met. She hasn't changed a bit. And how I act in front of her hasn't changed a bit either.
학교는 곧 졸업이지? 취업은?
It's been long since I gave up hearing "How are you?" from her.
준비하고 있어.
준비만 하지 말고 여기저기 넣어봐야지. 다른 사람들은 다 적극적으로 하던데 너처럼 멍하게 있으면 될 것도 안 되잖니.
Mom said as she sat down on the sofa.
너는 평범한 대학 나오고 평범하게 졸업하니까 어차피 평범한 곳에 취직하겠지.
I thought that I was used to hearing those words by now, but they still hurt. Average. Mom told me that many times. That I have to be special. Any score lower than 100 is just average. And now I've become that average person Mom always talked about. Mom went all out of her way to make me special, but I ended up becoming an average person.
내가 어릴 때부터 그렇게나 교육을 시켰는데 어떻게 이 정도밖에 안 되니 넌?
Mom opened her purse and took out a small mirror with a lipstick.
엄마.
I called out to her in a small voice, but she was more interested in looking at herself through the mirror.
엄마.
왜 그러니? 한 번만 불러.
Mom glanced at me with an annoyed look and began fixing her makeup again.
엄마. 오늘 여기에 왜 온 거야?
Mom, who was applying on a lipstick, stopped her hand.
왜 온 거야? 나를 책망하려고 온 거야? 아니면 또 난 특별하지 않다고 질타하려고 온 거야?
I never once regretted moving out of the house. I tried to become that daughter that Mom always wanted me to be. But no matter how hard I tried, I could not figure out what I wanted to do. Only anxiety would pile up.
얘가 못하는 말이 없어?
Mom put down the mirror she was holding. She finally looked at me.
그래도 누구 덕분에 이 정도가 됐는데 내가 너한테 쏟아부은 돈이 얼만 줄 알아?
Mom's angry face. That face scared me to death when I was little. I tried my best not to make her angry, but it didn't work, so I always considered myself a bad child.
실패한 자식이지만 그래도 내가 낳았으니까 어떻게 사는지 보려고 왔을 뿐이야.
A failure. Mom still says words that would hurt me so casually.
정 안 되면 공무원 시험 준비라도 해.
Why do you always try to push me? There may be something out there that would make me happier, something that suits me better. But why do you always shut out those possibilities and force me to do something that I don't want? I can't even try to seek for what I want to do because I'm a failure?
내가 왜 실패작이야?
뭐?
실패, 성공, 그런 거 누가 정한 거야? 정한 건 엄마잖아.
I felt a sharp pain on my left cheek. This is the first time that she's hit me since I was little. But I've been hurt by her words for far too long. Slapping didn't even hurt.
얘가 보자보자니까? 네가 재능 없고 노력이 부족한 걸 지금 내 탓하는 거니?
No, I'm not blaming you. I'm just trying to tell you not to judge me as a failure. I want to say those words, but the voices won't come out of my mouth. I was afraid that I would burst into tears as soon as I started to speak.
내가 너한테 투자한 게 얼만데? 다른 엄마들보다 몇 배나 더 공들였어! 그렇게 투자를 했는데도 이 모양 이 꼴이니 내 마음이 어떻겠니? 밖에 나가 살더니 왜 이렇게 변한지 모르겠구나. 가라는 대학 안 가고 반항하더니 그래, 결국 이렇게 될 줄 알았어. 내가 할 수 있는 일은 다 했다. 이제 더는 모르겠구나.
No, Mom's leaving. I wanted to tell her something. I didn't even tell her anything yet, but she's leaving.
너 신경 쓰는 것도 이제 지긋지긋하다. 난 앞으로 내 인생을 살 거야.
Mom opened the front door.
그렇게 알아.
The door closed. I stood alone in the empty living room. I didn't get to do anything, and I didn't get to say anything.
누나,
Jian was the first one to come home after Mom left. I could smell the strawberry shampoo that I bought for him. He's been using the shampoo that I bought for him.
누나, 나 할 말 있는데.
I could already guess what he was going to say. Although I knew I couldn't say anything.
나 이제 이 집에서 나가려고. 계속 누나한테 신세만 지니까. 나 사실 좋은 사람 만났거든.
I looked up to see Jian's face.
좋은 사람?
I know that all of us can't live like this forever. I should have been prepared to have them leave. If he had already met someone nice, I would feel more relieved. I knew that his words weren't true.
응. 미리 말 못해서 미안해.
But he's leaving. I can't see his bright smiling face or him teasing the other animals anymore. And everyone will eventually leave.
그래.
I answered in a feeble voice. I knew it would be like this, but
누나 괜찮아?
Jian asked with a concerned look on his face.
지수 형은 어디 갔어? 아직 안 왔어?
Jisoo. Jisoo, the person who accepted me for who I am. The person who enabled me to find happiness in life.
뭐 지수 형 오면 잘 이야기해봐. 이젠 내가 나설 수도 없는 처지니까.
Jian began to pack his belongings. He's leaving. The faint smell of the orange that lingered in the house is also leaving with him. Jian opened the door.
잘 지내 누나.
And the door closed. I was left all alone at home. I could hear nothing. Am I useless because I'm a failure? Mom and Jian, they were people who weren't destined to stay with me.
엄마.
Mom didn't have faith in me until the very end. No matter how hard I try, I can't do it. What am I supposed to do now? I think I did the best I can. How come I can't be happy? Why can't I become happy no matter how hard I try? Why am I living this busy life? Being so afraid of Mom? I don't even have a goal. I don't even know what I want to do. Am I going to just graduate and get a job? Am I just going to get a job anywhere? Am I just going to prepare for law school just as she told me to?
나 왔어.
It's Jisoo. I didn't feel like greeting him.
엄마가 온다고 그렇게 난리를 치더니 대청소했어? 완전 깨끗하네. 야, 너 무슨 일이 있었던 거야?
Will Jisoo leave me one day? Will he stay with me until the very end, not abandoning me? I wasn't sure. He might leave me one day, just as Mom and Jian did. One day, he might disappear with a goodbye.
지수야.
너 무슨 일 있었어?
What am I to do if you were to leave me one day?
지연이가
뭐? 그 녀석 결국에는
너도 언젠가는 나갈 거야?
뭐?
지연이처럼 그렇게 갈 거야? 날 두고 어디론가 떠나가 버릴 거야?
Jisoo didn't answer. Why? Why are you not answering? You can just tell me that you won't leave, that you'll stay by my side.
정말 사라져 버릴 거야? 지연이처럼?
I waited, but Jisoo still won't answer. No way. Are you really gonna leave? Someday? If that's the case, then
언젠가 떠나가 버릴 거라면 지금 가줘.
뭐라고?
더 이상 정들게 하지 말고 빨리 나가란 말이야.
although my face was a mess from crying, I looked up to see Jisoo. Although I told him to leave, I was actually scared that he really will. I wanted him to give me a warm hug and tell me that he'll be by my side. But Jisoo didn't answer. He won't say that he would not leave.
너희는 대체 왜 내 앞에 나타난 거야?
I asked the question that was left unanswered again.
나한테 원하는 게 뭐야?
I can't do anything for you. You won't get anything by staying with me. Why me? Why did you appear in front of me? You're going to end up being disappointed and leave anyway. So I'm going to be all alone once again. I felt completely lost and helpless. And I felt pathetic, screaming like a little child as if to ask people to throw a pity party for me.
이제 됐어. 이 정도면 충분하다고. 너희들이 나랑 같이 있는다고 얻을 수 있는 것도 없잖아.
Jisoo grabbed my left shoulder with force. He looked at me straight into my eyes.
너 지금 나 화나게 한다. 알고 있어?
언제까지 같이 있을 것도 아니잖아.
Don't make me attached to you if you aren't going to stay with me forever. Don't make me like you.
다 떠나갈 거잖아. 결국에는 나 혼자 버려두고 갈 거면서. 다 알고 있어. 그러니까
I don't want to get hurt anymore. I'm scared. It would have been better if you had disappeared without me knowing it.
너 갑자기 왜 이래? 지연이 때문에 그래? 말할 때까지 안 놔줄 거야.
Jisoo always looks at me straight in the eyes. And he accepts everything about me, even when I cry, even when I yell hysterically. Mom didn't look at me like that. She left me without even trying. I burst into tears. I didn't mean to cry in front of him, but tears kept seeping beneath my eyelids.
바보야. 울지 마. 나한테 다 말하란 말이야.
Before I could stop myself, I spilled everything out.
왜 엄마는
엄마?
아무리 노력해도 아무리 열심히 해도 왜 날 봐주지 않을까? 왜 내가 부족한 거야?
I asked Jisoo the questions that I've been asking myself. Jisoo seemed baffled at my words.
내가 그렇게 나쁜 거야? 그래서 다들 실망하고 날 떠나가는 거야? 내가 부족해서 마음에 들지 않아서 내가 그렇게 잘못한 거야?
Am I wrong? All of my hard efforts, were they all useless?
아니야. 그럴 리 없잖아. 무슨 말이야? 제대로 설명을 해봐.
엄마는 왜 날 사랑해주지 않는 걸까? 열심히 해도 왜 인정해주지 않을까? 나는 왜 엄마의 실패작이 되어버린 걸까?
실패작이라니. 그런 소리 하지 마. 정신 차려.
Jisoo shook me roughly. That made me come back to my senses a bit.
그딴 소리 다시 한 번만 더 하면 화낼 거야. 진짜 화낼 거라고.
I could see his angry expression.
이제 좀 정신이 들어?
I blinked my eyes twice. I could see Jisoo more clearly. His angry expression was nowhere to be seen. He looked very worried instead.
내 말 잘 들어. 지연이가 나간 건 네 잘못이 아니야. 걔는 걔 나름대로 복잡한 사정이 있어. 엄마랑 무슨 일이 있었는지 모르겠지만 일단 진정해. 왜 이렇게 될 때까지 나한테 한마디도 안 했어?
내 문제잖아.
How can I tell you? It's something that I've never told anyone before.
약속해. 이제부턴 나한테 다 이야기하겠다고 약속하라고.
Promise. Does that mean you'll listen to everything I have to say?
안 그러면 내가 불안하단 말이야. 너 금방이라도 무너져 버릴 것 같다고.
I felt touched. I'm not sure if it's because this is the first time that someone had shown me this much care and concern, but
너의 불안, 걱정, 약한 모습 내가 다 지켜봐 줄 테니까 약속해. 약속해.
is it really okay? Jisoo won't hate me, even if I tell him about myself?
약속 안 하면 앞으로 네 허락 안 받고 마음대로 키스할 거야.
My face flushed. How can he say those words at a moment like this? My face must look terrible right now from all the crying. I looked up and saw that Jisoo's face was a bit red too.
그러니까 내 말은 힘들면 나한테 기대란 말이야. 이 바보야. 센 척 좀 그만하고.
Depend on you? On Jisoo?
네가 무슨 슈퍼우먼이냐? 숨어서 훌쩍훌쩍 울고 겉으로 씩씩한 척하면 누가 상 주냐?
내가 언제 숨어서 울었다고?
I actually did cry alone a few times in my room. I was so nervous about my future, and I felt sorry for myself for not being loved by my mother.
바보야. 이미 오래전부터 다 알고 있었어.
Jisoo hugged me. So you already knew. I felt ashamed and pitiful. But Jisoo was hugging me, telling me that it's okay. He says that he even accepts the ugly sides of me. Maybe I can really tell Jisoo everything. Maybe it would be okay to depend on Jisoo, who accepts me for who I truly am. Okay, so I'm going to end it here for today. Thank you guys for watching. If you want to see more of my videos, you can just click the links at the top. And also don't forget to subscribe. Thank you guys for watching.